liminal spaces. Places where we are in our existence, in our lives, in a particular space. We are where we are between states. We are between happenings. The disciples have been through a lot. They have been with Jesus throughout his ministry. They've watched him crucified. They've had the surprise of their lives in seeing him come back from the dead. And they thought, okay, we've got him back. And he tells them, I'm not here to stay with you. And they're like, really? What have we been following you for? And if this was Mark, he would give us the clue that they still haven't got it. But as they're talking with him and they ask him, is this the time when the kingdom will come? He says to them, it's not for you to know the times or the seasons. And he is taken from them yet again. And they realize this time when he's taken from them, he is gone for good. They will not see him again. But he's given them a promise. He says, the Father. And on Mother's Day, we might also say God the Mother will send a comforter. God will send to his people someone, some power, some authority that will change their lives, that will move them, that will redirect them, that will transform them. But it's a promise, right? It hasn't happened yet. And they're taken from him, or he is taken from them, I should say. And what do? They don't all go to their homes and go back to their work, go back to all their occupations. They retire to the place where they're staying, and they stay together in prayer, in supplication to God, in asking for God's presence, constantly calling on God's name. Isn't that what the church is meant to be? The community of God's people gathered together to praise God's name, to give thanks for the blessings that we have received, to ask and to supplicate God for those problems that we have in our lives, and to share them with each other, to help each other, to strengthen our journey together. It's not necessarily the building, as beautiful as it is in this space. It's not in a cathedral. It's not in a simple country church out in a rural area. It's not the building, but it is the gathered people that we together, in our worship, in our praise of God, remember all of the blessings that God gives us. And in those times when we don't feel God's presence, that we call upon God to stand with us and remind us that he is our God. This in-between time, this time of transition for the disciples, from having Jesus with them. It's very easy when our teacher, our leader is here, and he says, here is who you are, here is what we will do, we say, yes, sir, and we follow him. But when the leader is gone, in that time after he has left, and before the promise of a comforter, an advocate, a power is fulfilled, we have to wait. We have to trust that that promise will come true. And isn't that the state in which we are as a congregation? We are in that liminal space. We know we can't go back to what we were. We may have fond memories of what the Rutherford Congregational Church was between 1907 and 2018. And we can all recall those memories. Do you remember when? But that's history. That's past. It's no longer here. And God has promised that God will be with us in the future. But we're not there yet. There are bumps in the road. There are uncomfortable times when we don't know what God is going to do with us. But are we gathered, as the disciples were, in that liminal space, in that in-between time, when we don't know what's going to happen? We can think of all the possibilities of what can go wrong. And I've heard them all in 3.5 years. Council meeting after council meeting. Transition team meeting after transition team meeting. Renewal team meeting after renewal team meeting. Finance meeting after finance meeting. I know everything that can go wrong. Y'all got that down. That's wonderful. I'm glad you know that. But do we have the confidence to trust in God, that God will be with us? That God will bless us? At council meeting on Thursday night, I read a small portion from the book of Nehemiah, the 2nd chapter, in which Nehemiah talks to the people about rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem once they come back from captivity. The city has been destroyed. There is no stone left standing, one on top of another. And the people are like, woe is us. Jerusalem is destroyed. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? We don't have the money. We don't have the support. We don't have enough people. But Nehemiah says, but God is with us. And God will bless us. Can we claim that? Can we believe that ourselves for us? We are like this basket of blocks. Some on the floor, some on the table. But we need to rebuild ourselves. We need to start to put a foundation together. What is it that we will do? And how will we do it? Are we willing to say that God is with us? And I'm going to take my piece and I'm going to put it together with the others and be part of the rebuilding? We're not rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. We're rebuilding this congregation. Am I willing to be part of it? Or am I going to be like Sanballat and Tobiah, the enemies of the returned Israelites? And I'm going to sit and snipe from the sidelines and say, you ain't going to make it. You're rebelling. You don't know what you're doing. It's all done. It's over. Finished. Close the doors. Go back to Babylon. Or are we going to be part of it? Do we have the confidence to claim that God is with us? In this in-between time, can we gather as the apostles did and say, this is our God? We follow this man Jesus. He made us a promise. And I'm going to take that promise and I'm going to place my faith and my trust in that promise that God will be with us and God will provide us what we need. God will give us the people. God will give us the funds. God will give me the time that I can do something for this church. In our society today and in our culture, there is every reason to find something else to do than to be part of a living church. There is every reason not to be in worship with the congregation on Sunday morning. I don't have to give you the reasons. You know them. You all experience them from time to time. But are we able to say, no, I have to be with God's people when they gather because there God is and I need to be where God is if I am one of God's children? Are you willing to do that and to step forward and take the block you have in your hands and add it to a foundation to make a strong structure? It's only Duplo. It's only an example. It's a weird example from a strange pastor. But are we willing to build something together? I invite you to come forward and to try and build a solid structure of some kind. It can have funny angles. It can have strange towers on it. Whatever. But we need to make sure it's got a solid foundation. So let's start. Let's build something together. And let's claim what the disciples did. That Jesus is our God and that God will bless us. I invite you to come forward and add your block and build something together this morning.